Good morning. Welcome to the morning forecast discussion for November 17th, 2011. It's a Thursday morning, and we are a week out from Thanksgiving. And of course, our temperatures are starting to decline, and as premium members know, I've been expecting this. The warm pattern is slowly going to die off. It's not going to completely switch off, but we're going to get more and more days like what we're going to see today, where temperatures aren't going to be moving all that much. So what do we have in place? Well, the northern interior, especially northeastern Pennsylvania and portions of the Hudson Valley, are currently in the upper 30s, and they won't be moving much from these temperatures for highs. In fact, by this afternoon, these temperatures will be falling into the mid 30s. Meanwhile, we have temperatures along the coast ranging from the mid to upper 40s. This is the warmest it's going to get now. Temperatures are going to be falling through into the lower to mid 40s, and unfortunately it's going to get rather chilly, rather raw, and rather wet for this afternoon. So let's take a look at the radar and take a look at the forecast. You can see on the radar, you can see all this rain starting to develop over the mid-Atlantic back down through the Tennessee River Valley. This is a part of another disturbance, the polar disturbance that is moving out of the Ohio River Valley and moving towards the mid-Atlantic. This rainfall will continue to expand and intensify and produce rain and snow, that's right, and snow for the New York City and Philadelphia metropolitan areas. Now, I don't expect any accumulation, maybe a little bit on the grass, but nothing significant, especially along the coast where temperatures are going to be in the lower to mid 40s. It's going to be rather difficult to accumulate anything, but you will see snow mixed with the rain at times. Why is that going to happen? Well, the answer can be found in the satellite picture. You see this blue right here? This is an upper level disturbance, and there is a lot of cold air in the mid and upper levels associated with this disturbance. As this disturbance interacts with this surface low pressure system, the low pressure system will intensify as it's moving northeast. This lifting will enhance the rainfall, and that strong lifting will allow some of that cold air at the mid levels to mix down towards the surface and allow some of that rain to change over to snow. Again, I don't expect much in the way of accumulation, but it might catch a few people by surprise, considering that temperatures were in the 60s a few days ago, and then we go to snow showers. This is how you get a cold. My cold. So, there we go. It's that time of year, and here we are once again with 60s one day, snow the next. So what's going to happen for the rest of the weekend? Let's take a look at the forecast. Using the European model guidance this morning, now the GFS is doing pretty good, but I like the handling on the European guidance a little bit better. For this evening, again, we have a strong disturbance driving through the mid-Atlantic as our low pressure system departs. I'm expecting rain and snow for this afternoon and then clearing out by the evening hours. Notice that moisture at the mid levels is starting to clear out, so that's going to lead to clearing skies for this evening. But because of the strong pressure gradient, look for windy conditions as well, anywhere from 10 to 15 miles per hour from the northwest, gusting at times to 25 miles per hour. You combine that with temperatures in the upper 30s to lower 40s, and this evening we're looking at wind chills in the lower to mid 30s. So it's going to be rather chilly, that is for sure. Moving forward in the forecast, high pressure will be in control throughout this weekend. Excellent weather conditions for this weekend. Now, because the high pressure system is moving off the coast, you're going to end up with warmer temperatures. Temperatures rebounding into the upper 50s, possibly touching into the lower 60s as well for the New York City metropolitan area. In the Philadelphia metropolitan area, lower to mid 60s will be possible. And the reason why is because of this strong pressure gradient right here that produces southwesterly winds and southerly winds. But notice the 500 millibar pattern. A few days ago, this ridge was centered over the Gulf Coast. And so you had a large ridge and you had plenty of warm air dominating the east. Now that ridge axis is starting to shift further east towards the Bahamas. Premium members know that I've been warning that this was going to happen. Meanwhile, our trough axis is slowly shifting to the east. Moving into the rest of the forecast as we move to Sunday, it's rather warm, but here comes our cold front on Sunday night. As that cold front moves through on Monday morning, we're going to have scattered showers and another high pressure builds in, and much colder temperatures build into the northern Mid-Atlantic, drive into the northern Mid-Atlantic. We have tons of cold air in Canada just building and intensifying. Moving in towards the rest of the week, we end up with chilly conditions with temperatures pretty much back to near normal. But again, we're seeing this shift in the pattern. Patterns do not switch on a dime unless there's a really powerful storm and a rapid change in the weather pattern. What usually happens is they break down and redevelop slowly, and that's exactly what we're going to start to see with our weather pattern as we head into Thanksgiving. We have a storm developing over the east. Now this is going to lead to rain along the coast and likely over the interior because of the track. But the key point to remember is that we no longer have a powerful ridge setting up over the east coast. Now we're starting to get more troughs, deeper troughs. Colder air is starting to build into the eastern United States, but this is going to be a slow step down. And normally I don't do this, but let me just show you the extended forecast here. Kind of get an idea of what we're looking at here and why I'm so intrigued with this pattern. Here we have another strong upper level low, plenty of cold air building down the coastal plain, an area low pressure intensifying off the coast on Thanksgiving, high pressure to the north of this low pressure system. This could be rather interesting for higher elevations depending on the development of this storm. So it's kind of a preview for Thanksgiving, something to keep an eye on as we move forward. And also note, all the premium members are going to know this. Our upper level low is starting to weaken and starting to move a little bit closer towards the Aleutians. There's a reason for that, and it's not because the models are saying so. It's because of physics and understanding what an east-based La Nina means on the weather pattern as a whole. And as we move forward, look at this towards the end of next week, next weekend, the weekend after Thanksgiving. Lo and behold, we have a trough in the east, we have a ridge in the west, we have a more progressive pattern in the Pacific as far as instead of having this deep, powerful upper level low dominating much of Alaska, now it's starting to break up and weaken. We're seeing a little bit more lower heights around the Aleutians. That allows a ridge to start to build on the west coast and around the Rockies. Here comes our trough. Now, does this automatically mean that we're going to end up with a cold pattern in the east like a switch? No. But we are progressing towards that, and you can see the obvious change from what was a giant ridge setting up over the east to now a trough setting up over the east. It's coming. The changes in the weather pattern are coming, but it'll be a slow step down. That's your morning forecast discussion, a little bit of a special twist for those wondering about the Thanksgiving vacation. Again, keep an eye on this storm for Thanksgiving. I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. You can always follow the latest weather information at nynjpaweather.com and nynjpaweather on Twitter and Facebook. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe out there.